At the 2026 Grammy Awards, Billie Eilish thought she was making a bold statement, but it may have sparked far more than she anticipated. Criticism followed her from Rodeo Drive to the shores of Malibu after the ceremony, which also suffered from disappointing ratings. Her remarks quickly went viral online, but what began as social media chatter soon escalated into something much more tangible. The turning point came when the Tongva tribe publicly addressed her Malibu home. Suddenly, the situation wasn't just a matter of online debate, it carried real-world weight. Many assumed that once the excitement of awards night faded, the controversy would die down. Instead, it intensified. Headlines were already labeling the 2026 Grammys a ratings disaster even before the broadcast on CBS, and videos of celebrities sharing political opinions were spreading rapidly, often framed in the harshest way possible. Billie's comment about stolen land didn't just spark online conversation, it stirred real-life reactions. Reports surfaced of her being confronted in public across California, longtime fans distancing themselves, and fellow artists treating her with caution. This episode is about more than one speech. It highlights how quickly public perception can shift and why many view it as a pivotal moment in her career. The backlash accelerated as the discussion moved from the award stage to real-world consequences. After the broadcast, questions arose about whether her statements aligned with her personal lifestyle. When the Tongva tribe confirmed that her Malibu residence sits on tribal land, the stakes changed dramatically, whether she expected it or not. Stage commentary turned into debates over hypocrisy, accountability, and whether fame shields someone from scrutiny. Then came the silence. Billie did not provide a public response or clarification. While quiet can sometimes calm a storm, here it seemed to inflame it. During multiple public appearances, the tension increased with each sighting. Instead of fielding questions behind a screen, she faced direct, sometimes heated interactions from the public. Reactions varied. Some saw her responses as evasive, others as defensive, but it underscored a stark reality. Once the applause fades, real-world emotions can feel far more intense. Timing played a major role in the controversy. The combination of the Grammys' low ratings and politically charged discussions amplified public dissatisfaction. Billie's video quickly became one of the most viewed and debated clips online, even amid other artists' controversial moments. What began as an awards night speech evolved into a broader conversation about responsibility, credibility, and how quickly public opinion can pivot when words meet reality. Many people found Billie Eilish's stolen land comment to be provocative and unnecessarily confrontational, especially given the current spotlight on immigration issues. Reactions were immediate as the video went viral online. Within days, the Tongva tribe publicly noted that her Malibu property sits on land of historical and cultural significance. To be clear, this was framed as a cultural acknowledgement rather than a formal land dispute, but it still struck a chord. Online critics quickly questioned why Billie would make such pointed statements about land ownership while herself living on property tied to the same history. That question seemed to follow her everywhere she went. Tensions escalated when she was spotted shopping on Rodeo Drive. Photographers and bystanders approached her directly, asking about her Grammy remarks and the tribe's message. She reportedly kept her head down, moving quickly from store to store without responding. Even after leaving, questions lingered. Security tightened and she wore a hat and sunglasses as she hurried on. Later that day, near the El Capitan Theater, she faced public criticism once more. Accounts varied. Some claimed she responded sharply, while others said she remained silent and simply moved on. Footage of the encounters quickly spread online, showing that tensions were mounting, whether fueled by stress, annoyance, or both. The pattern continued at another appearance near the TCL Chinese Theater, reinforcing that these weren't isolated incidents. She declined autograph requests and moved inside with security in tow. Each sighting only prompted more questions. Why not just address it? As expected, social media became polarized. Some longtime supporters voiced frustration, feeling ignored or dismissed after years of loyalty. Meanwhile, defenders argued that she had no obligation to respond to public confrontations on the spot, and that crowd pressure shouldn't demand an immediate answer. Supporters argued that it's unrealistic to expect public figures to stay perfectly composed during confrontations on the street, especially when cameras and critics are constantly present. Some even criticized the crowds, insisting that shouting at someone in public is never acceptable, no matter the issue. The tension only grew louder with this ongoing back and forth, amplified further by viral blogs and commentary outlets revisiting Billie's past interviews, statements, and causes she had supported. A new narrative began to take shape. Billie seemed confident and articulate on well-controlled, high-profile stages, but struggled with immediate, unscripted responses in public settings. Online, this contrast sparked widespread discussion. Industry speculation added another layer. Reports suggested that some colleagues quietly distanced themselves, avoiding public appearances with her. Fans noticed fewer shoutouts, less visible support, and fewer appearances at events, though these claims weren't independently verified. Rumors even circulated that major studios were hesitating to offer her film and voice acting roles. At this point, the Grammys themselves mattered less than questions of accountability, public image, and whether her silence was intentional or simply a result of feeling overwhelmed. For longtime observers, this was a notable moment. Billie's reputation has been built on openness, speaking candidly about social issues and sharing her feelings without filters. That authenticity has been central to her appeal. Even when her views stirred controversy, fans appreciated her honesty rather than seeing her as distant or unapproachable. But authenticity is a two-way street. When someone speaks boldly, audiences often expect them to stand by their words under scrutiny. That's why the Tongva tribe's statement carried particular weight. It wasn't anonymous online criticism, it was a direct response from a community with deep historical ties to the land. Ignoring random comments is one thing. Remaining silent when a cultural group enters the conversation carries a very different significance. The debate also tapped into a broader frustration with political messaging at entertainment events. Many viewers already feel that programs meant to be celebratory can sometimes feel like platforms for lectures. Billie's situation highlighted just how complicated it can be to navigate honesty, public perception, and cultural accountability all at once. Billie Eilish quickly became a symbol of the frustration that many viewers were already feeling, especially as Grammy ratings slipped into the spotlight. Fair or not, she came to represent what some audiences had grown weary of. The discussion began to overshadow the music itself once you factored in tense public confrontations, upset crowds, and a lack of clear responses. Fans who once felt a strong connection started questioning whether someone so candid about their beliefs could also handle criticism with the same honesty. How a prominent figure reacts in moments like this can shape the trajectory of their career. In hindsight, the situation didn't need to escalate as much as it did. A single straightforward statement, a brief clarification, or even a pause followed by an explanation could have changed the tone entirely. Instead, many observers interpreted avoidance and visible frustration as the defining response. Perception matters, especially when you're in the public eye. At this point, it isn't just about what was said on stage, it's about how legitimate questions were handled afterward. Fans don't demand perfection, but they do value accountability and consistency. Billie's team could choose to let the controversy fade naturally, potentially restoring goodwill over time. With thoughtful action, she might regain trust. But prolonged silence risks making the criticism linger far longer than anticipated. Whether she decides to speak out or stay quiet will influence what happens next. Public perception can shift quickly, and once trust is weakened, rebuilding it takes time. This could very well be a pivotal moment in shaping how Billie is seen, not just as a musician, but as a public figure navigating complex social issues. What do you think? Could this have been handled more directly, or did it spiral out of control? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and we'll keep watching how this story unfolds.